And without further ado, I'd like to introduce my first guest and a regular to the show here. Tell us a little bit about his new book. It'll be available on ebooks this fall. It's called Traveling the Letters of the Alphabet. It's a working title. Right. So, filmmaker, writer, an animator for the California Raisins, the Claymaster Easter Show, sound for the Mona Lisa descending a staircase, and many, many other projects. Of course, a very good friend of mine, John G. Poulot. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
So, you're here to talk about your new book that you've been working on.
Yeah.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about the project?
Well, it's an idea I've had. I've traveled a lot, and I always carry notebooks with me. So, this is a story of travels around the world, and there's 26 chapters from A to Z. Actually, the subtitle is From Afghanistan to Zimbabwe, with 24 countries in between.
Where did you hear this concept from?
Well, I was just thinking one day, and I made a list of the countries that I went to, and I noticed that the first country on the dictionary is Afghanistan. And then the last country is Zimbabwe. And I went to both and I said, well, that's pretty cool, from A to Z. So, and this is how the whole thing developed.
Is there a country with W and X?
No.
Okay.
Actually, there are some countries that are W, but they are not part of the UN. One of them is Waziristan, which is between Afghanistan and Pakistan, and there's Western Sahara, but these are not countries. There's no X. For W, what I did, there used to be a country with a W, Western Samoa, now Samoa, so I use Samoa.
Now, is this your first book?
No, actually I wrote 2 books. They were manuals. First one on clay animation, and the second one was on 3D photography.
Okay, so this is kind of a different genre for
Right, totally.
for your creative expression. I would say the last ones were manuals, as you were a professor of animation previously.
Yeah.
You're currently on sabbatical, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that sounds wonderful. I hope someday I can take a sabbatical. So you wrote this book about 26 different countries. Now, I'm assuming you've been to more than 26 countries.
Correct.
Okay, so
yeah.
Why did you choose the 26 that you chose?
It's very difficult, actually, because I tried to have him on each continent, for one thing. And so some countries, like with a P, there was several contenders. Same with C. And at this point I had to think, well, which continent will it fit? Which continent has not enough countries? Or also, the content of the story, something happening, if it's...
So you chose the 26 countries related to the letters of the alphabet, and you also chose the countries that maybe had a special story for you.
Right.
So...
or for the readers.
Can you tell, maybe... Oh, for the readers, of course. Could you tell me, like, maybe there was a country that didn't make it into the book that you had trouble leaving out?
Cuba.
Okay.
I really wanted to put Cuba, but I decided to use another
Which one did you use in place?
I used Chile.
Okay.
But actually Chile, not mainland Chile, but Chile, Easter Island, because it is such an iconic destination.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the story? Give our listeners a little peek into what they might be expecting, and when they open the book and they see the chapter C, third chapter, and it's Chile. And can you maybe give us a little bit of the story?
Well, you would appreciate that, because what I did, I actually took my bike with me. I bought a mountain bike just to go to Easter, because it's very expensive to rent a car. The roads are not paved, and I was there for a week, And I thought a bike would be just the greatest thing. And the island is very small, but I got lost the first day, even with a map. I mean, it was at night.
Do you have a favorite letter of this book, a favorite story?
Well, the first one actually seems the A seems very, to me, very close because...
Well, I think maybe I will just stop reading after the first chapter. If the best one is the first one, maybe I shouldn't continue reading. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say it's the best.
Okay,
but to
it's
me
your
it's
favorite.
The one that rings special because for A, it's in Afghanistan, which nobody in their right mind would go now. And the second thing is I got to go to a place called Bamyan, which is famous for two Buddhas, the huge Buddhas, which were dynamited by the Taliban in 2001. So these don't exist.
And well, what year were you there?
I was there in 77, maybe?
77?
Right.
A young strapping lad?
So yeah, I was 21, and so you do the math. And it was 2 years before the Russian invasion.
One of the things that we talked about in your book is that you have a couple instances that people could not relive this experience. But could you give us an example that if someone read your book, they would consider, wow, that's really amazing and I would like to do that? Is there an example you can think of that people could?
Letter P. Letter P also very difficult to choose from. Philippines was a big contender, Pakistan also, but I decided to go for Papua New Guinea because I love the country, and I took the story in this case is a week-long trip on a dugout canoe on the Sepik River, which is a huge river in northern Papua New Guinea.
You had 3 countries to choose from for P.
Yeah.
So that makes me kind of wonder, if you have 3 for P and 2 for A and 3 for C, how many countries have you been to?
Well, as of now, 105.
As long as we're talking on this topic of traveling,
Yeah.
now, is there another country that you would like to visit that you haven't been to?
Of course. I've never been to Peru. So that would be one. I would love to go to Mali. Unfortunately, with what's happening right now, I mean, it's impossible to go there. But Mali would be definitely a contender.
Would you see yourself doing a part 2 to this book? If maybe you could do a second round of letters? Yeah, or are you going to switch to numbers and go to infinity?
Yeah. I think it'd be hard to use the same format.
Mm-hmm. You expect it to be out this fall on ebook?
Yes.
Are you going to publish, or it's going to be just ebook?
Just ebook.
Okay.
Unless if I find a publisher, paper publisher, but...
so here are publishers that are listening. We're looking for a publisher. So I like to do something fun at the end of the show or at the end of the interview. And I know we were talking earlier about something that they do on inside the actor's studio. Mm. And who is the originator of this questionnaire?
His name is Bernard Pivot.
Why don't we get to this famous questionnaire? So really quickly, 10 questions. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with this, but the first one is, what's your favorite word?
Love.
Love. What is your least favorite word?
Hate.
What turns you on?
Miniskirts.
What turns you off?
No miniskirts.
Okay. Loving the miniskirts. So, what sound do you love?
I love the sound of a bottle of champagne opening.
That's a nice sound.
Nice pop.
And what sound do you hate?
I hate the screeching cars.
What's your favorite curse word?
God, I got so many. Fuck it.
And what profession other than yours would you like to attempt? And I guess you're on sabbatical, but you were a professor. Anything that you haven't done, I think.
Yeah. Architect.
An architect.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, not
Costanza. I like to pretend to be an
Oh,
architect.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And number 9, what profession would you not like to do?
Oh, lots. Military.
Yeah, I might have to agree with you on that one. Number 10, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I do not exist.
Very funny.
That's what I would like to hear.
Well, this is the first episode of the Morning Clam, and I hope everyone enjoyed a little bit. Maybe we can talk more about your book at another time. Maybe you could share another story. But we're going to wrap it up for today, and thanks everyone for listening, and thanks for my first guest, who will be hopefully a reappearing and regular guest on the show. For the Morning Clam, this is Aaron Martinson signing off. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.